will clarify those things. So okay. So now you just there is no audio I'm going to play over here. Just do not bother about which kind of engine it is. It is 4-stroke or it is 2-stroke or compression ignition or spark ignition. Just see what are the components and how they are attached. Cylinder block, and inside the cylinder block there is a cooling jacket. If it is cool,
what is this?
yes. Someone was saying something. Hello.
I don't. That was by mistake, I think. Or is anyone asking anything? I think no right now. You can.
Yeah. So the things that I just discussed in past 1 or 1.5 hour, I'll be summarizing those things. First of all, we will see what are the, because in a diagram the things could not be more clear, and over here in this video the things will be more clear to you. So in a cylinder block, as we discussed when we discussed the definition of the cylinder block, the first part in the engine component or the anatomy was the cylinder block. If you see, this part is the cylinder block. This cylinder block, if it is liquid cooled, then there will be the cooling jackets inside it designed. So there will be the coolant flowing inside these cooling jackets. Then then we have the cylinder head. This part is the cylinder head. And these are the valves, the inlet and exhaust valves. Okay. Then we have valve springs and valve stem. So it is something like there is going to be an attachment over here that will be opening and closing up the valves at a suitable and perfect timing, and for the duration what is exactly required to be opened or closed. Okay, so we'll go ahead and we'll see these are the cams. So you will see this is the camshaft in the middle. This is the camshaft and a cam is attached over here. So what happens when this camshaft rotates? It actually has a variable diameter at every point, or this is the property of the cam, that when this shaft rotates for a moment, it is this diameter is going to be same, right? So and after that this diameter is going to change, so maybe then this will be compressing this part when it rotates, and this part comes over here, then this part will be hitting up this part of the spring, and then this will be pushed down. So see, this is the piston and these are the piston rings, and this is the cylinder. See, first thing, this was the cylinder block, this was the cooling jacket, and this is your exhaust valve, inlet valve, the cylinder head, and these are the cams. This is piston rings, and this is the crankcase and oil. So we'll discuss about that also. Then it is a fuel injector over here. So in case of spark ignition, it would be a spark plug over here. And this is the nozzle of the injector. And then this is the crankshaft. And this is the connecting rod. And this is the small end of the, see, the connecting rod has two ends. One is the small end and one is the large end. So this is widely known as the small bearing end, and this is known as the large bearing end. So the small bearing end is connected to the piston with the help of the gudgeon pin, and it is connected over the crankshaft with the big end bearing. So then it is the piston pin or gudgeon pin, and this part is the top dead center and this part is the bottom dead center. And you see there is some volume left blank. So this is the clearance volume. So what will happen if this volume is nowhere present over here? So that will cause the problem to our explosion, right? So this is a very designed thing that is intentionally done to leave the clearance volume over here. Then, okay, what parts are added? All right. So these are the parts. Now this comes this stroke and all that comes a little later. So you say in the evening session that will come. So you see again this is crankcase and the oil remains inside it in the crankcase. Then this is the cylinder blow up. This is the cooling jacket and coolant, and these are the valves, inlet and outlet valves. And this is the intake manifold. This is the exhaust manifold, and then these are the cams. This is piston ring, fuel injector, injector nozzle, crankshaft, and connecting rod, the big end, small end, gudgeon pin, and the TDC, BDC. So everything that we discussed in the engine anatomy is clear now. Now I will just summarize the discussion which I had with you in last 1.5 hour or 1 hour 20 minutes whatsoever. So this is, first of all, we saw what is the automobile. Okay. Then in the automobile, I ask you to ask yourself a question. Can a bicycle or a bullock cart considered as the automobile? So you have to see through that. Okay, what is automobile and why? If they are not considered as automobile, so why is that? Then we had two-wheelers, and I wanted you to explore the categories of the two-wheelers. Then three-wheeler, and I then again wanted you to explore the categories of three-wheelers. Then in four-wheelers, again the categories of four-wheelers. Then multi-axle vehicle, meaning of multi-axle vehicle. Try to explore what is a multi-axle and how many axles are present in a multi-axle vehicle, because they are variable as per the requirement of the vehicle and the load that it is going to carry and the level of comfort that it is going to offer. Then we discussed automotive system as chassis and body, and I wanted you to see and explore the monocoque chassis. So have you ever seen a monocoque chassis? You must have seen that. It's just if you do not recall that, you do not probably know what is this, because in day-to-day life, you must have seen that and thousands of times. In wheels and tires, I wanted you to know the components of wheel and assembly. And then in suspension system, the components of shock absorber. Then in brake system, the physics of braking. Then in steering system, the meaning of steering ratio. And in power transmission, power system, meaning of BHP. What is brake horsepower? So BHP, HP, indicated power, these things are some have some differences. You need to understand those differences. Then in drivetrain, I wanted you to know the gear ratio, because everything that drivetrain has is working on the gear ratio only. You swiftly shift from first gear to second gear to third, fourth, and so on. So you're doing nothing but you're changing the gear ratio. So how is that gear ratio connected, or how is that gear ratio interrelated to the drive systems? You need to explore that. Then I talked about the HVAC, heating, ventilation, and air conditioning, and I wanted you to explore the working of car AC. And then electrical systems, just wanted you to explore the engine ignition system, nothing else, not electronic ignition system or not timing anything, just engine ignition system. What exactly happens when you ignite the engine, or what actually happens when or how actually it is going to happen, the ignition system. Then internal combustion engines, we discussed IC engine, rotary, the classification only. We did not discuss the rotary and reciprocating things. So in the evening session, there are engines that from every background and cylinder arrangement, they will be rotary engine also, the reciprocating engine also, and probably there will be no Wankel and the open cycle gas turbine. So we then learned the engine anatomy, different parts and their location, and then classification based on the strokes and fuel, and the components, as I again say, and the nomenclature. the piston ring, gudgeon, the nomenclature, cylinder bore, piston area, stroke to bore ratio, these things. So we have a lot of things left for the evening session. And I hope this session has been